from the attack to lay out their demands. They're calling the attacks the Blacklist.
The Blacklist.
The Blacklist.
Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my Splinter Cell Blacklist, Perfectionist difficulty video walkthrough. This is mission 6. It's entitled Special Missions HQ. So this is another mission that begins with a remain undetected and leave all hostiles untouched restriction, which means if you do not abide by those two rules, an alarm will sound and the game will end. So you need to be very quiet on this early section. The good news is it's very easy to do, and it's a good job because this level starts off easy and fun and it gets difficult really quickly. And I think this is one of the more challenging levels on the game just because some of the situations they put you in, the checkpoints are not great, and this is something that I've mirrored throughout this guide. And there are a lot of people that don't think, checkpoints should be easy or should be given to players because they think that's one of the reasons why games have gotten easier. That is a fair observation, and it's always nice to speak to people like that because they have an interesting look on how games are managed and how difficulty is constructed. But me personally, I don't think checkpoints are the reason games got easier. I just literally think that they made games easier. And the main reason for this is games were initially designed to steal money. They were digital thieves that took quarters off of people because they were so damn difficult and set so hard, and death came without any skill to avoid it almost around every corner. And they've turned more into entertainment experiences than they have these money traps, so they're a lot less like a slot and a lot more like a movie now. So just through that intrinsic value of making it something to entertain somebody and to keep them caught up in an experience, it's gonna be easier. But checkpoints are not the reason. I don't think they're a good scapegoat for the easy game argument. And this level is an example of where if the checkpoints had been placed just a little bit better by someone perhaps who played the game, then there would be no frustration and all of it would feel fun and challenging and rewarding. And it's kind of similar to Dark Souls in some responses, because people who know my channel, you might just be watching this guide because you're stuck on Splinter Cell. I'm a big Dark Souls fan. I did not used to be. I didn't play Dark Souls because it didn't sound fun to me. It sounded like a game going out of its way to make it artificially challenging. And one of the big things that put me off the game, except for its aesthetic, was the fact that it had notoriously bad checkpoints. And even to this day, having put over 1,000 hours into Dark Souls, I still think the checkpoints on that game are a piece of shit. I really do. And I don't think the way that they manage them is what makes the game fun. And, I will argue the fact with any Dark Souls fan who thinks the checkpoints are what makes the game, that no one enjoys running back to a boss through an area they've conquered several times. No one enjoys that, and it makes people resent the bosses because you don't have enough time to practice them because you're spending all your time running back to the boss. And I just think it's something that if they streamlined it, it would make the game a lot more fun. Sure, it might not be, with the whole mentality of we want to kill you in as many ways as we can. I just think it would streamline the design and perhaps make it appeal to players who don't like going back through the areas. Because the thing with Dark Souls is, the game is designed so well and you do so much backtracking through areas that you're going to go through them several times anyway. And if you want to get good at the game, you're going to go through them by choice. It shouldn't be a choice that's forced on the player. That's what I think anyway. But that is something that will never happen in those games because they're designed in a very deliberate way. And I'm absolutely fine with that. It's just a necessary evil. And it's just one of those motivations that makes me want to get into, games development, work my way through a game tester job to a game designer job or like a director kind of job, because I want to be a part of this industry and I want to see all the decisions that get made and all the choices and all the reasons behind those decisions and be a part of it, because I know that, just being around those creative people is going to make you better creatively, and it just sounds like an amazing opportunity. But this moment here, folks, as soon as you start, if you run forward, you can climb a pipe. The pipe will put you on this balcony, and from this moment onwards, you're safe. And this is where the level starts to get more challenging. So through this doorway is a dude, and I don't understand him at all. He stands looking at this door for an eternity. And I'm going to stand waiting for him to move for quite some time before I realise the motherfucker just doesn't want to move. And he's got no path. He's just looking through that glass with his torch, you know, tentatively checking for signs of the intruder. And I'm climbing these pipes. I'm probably going to toggle my goggles on, because I think at this point I've bought the advanced version of the goggles, and I want to see if the night vision looks any better. And I think it does, actually. I think it looks better. But it still doesn't look as good as it did in some of the older games. And it's one of those choices that I'll never understand, you know. For a game... Oh, watch this. I'm brushing up against his leg because I can't get past. I'm like, seriously, bro? I can't sneak past you because you're stood in the damn way. I haven't alerted you by rubbing on your leg like some horny bastard dog. I couldn't win at this point. I'm going to have to take this guy down, and I don't want to. So I smash his face into the desk. And do you see that? That was a combat knockout. That is bullshit, man. And it must be because this moment is a pre-programmed combat situation. Interesting choice. That was a stealth takedown. I don't care what anyone says. But now that you've done this, you're free to sneak out of the room and continue getting out of the HQ. So, straight away you want to go into this lovely looking vent with this exotic vent cover, which is filled with stars and patterns. And we're going to climb up this lovely pipe. And what's going to happen here is you're going to get onto a stairwell. And if you know where to go on this stairwell, you can skip it really easily. If you don't, you can put yourself in a world of trouble. Because the lights are off, so there's a lot of flares, there's a lot of this red lighting, and there's a lot of guys with torches, so be very careful. But what you want to do here is you want to get past this guy, you want to go directly forward, and you want to climb up the pipe. So there's the pipe on the wall, it's hidden quite well, and this one up here is going to lead to a mantle spot that gets you directly to the exit, and it's going to completely skip this entire sequence, so it's really useful. But these two fellas here are going to have a quick conversation in Farsi, or like, I can't remember what part of the world this is in. I think it's Iran. I think it's Tehran, actually, and I don't actually know what language they speak. It could be, I don't know. I'm not even going to say. My ignorance is such that I don't know. And there's a lot of different languages in that area too. So you have to press the elevator here, get in the elevator, press the button, and then you can continue with the level. This elevator takes forever, so I've edited it out. If you're wondering why my elevator's super quick, it's just a crossfade, guys. It's just a piece of editing. And this next room is really difficult, actually. I had quite a lot of difficulty doing this one. So you can stealth with this dude, but you need him to open the door. So my decision is that what I just did then. Knock him out, use him as a human shield to get through the lasers, and we're going to be carrying him. The reason I'm carrying him is because if you leave him there, there's a guy who patrols the balcony who just kind of saw me then. He's going to find him. And if you're trying to get the ghost bonuses, they can't find bodies because it'll screw you every time. So this shouldn't work, but it does. I throw the guy's body that way and somehow don't kill him. Then I slide past him, then I pick him up, and he still doesn't see any of this. So he needs glasses, and we're somehow still in the clear. Down here there's a guy to your left who's having a conversation. You have enough time, if you followed the path I did, to get in this room, dump this guy in the sewer, and jump down without being spotted. And this is a mechanic that really bugs me here. Look at that! And he screams, did I kill that guy? Is he dead? Is he paralysed? Have I just ruined a perfect working man and his family's future? I don't know. But I felt really bad about throwing him down that gap. And on the next sequence, there's another dude who I try and throw down a stairwell, and it doesn't work. And it leads to the point that, why wasn't there an interaction to dump the body down down the ladders? Because there's no excuse. I get caught because I couldn't dump a body, and it made me very mad at the time. So right here, I moved over to that doorway because I'm trying to trigger a checkpoint. because I couldn't remember when it was. Because I know what's coming here. There's a room above me filled with glass, filled with lasers, filled with 2 dudes, and it's really easy to get spotted. And I wanted a checkpoint, but you only get one, I believe, when you put the flash drive into the computer. So I believe you're safe to go up at this point. Neither of those guys will see me if I climb up. And this is it. So the lasers work like lasers do in stealth games. If a guard walks near them, they deactivate. If you carry a guard near them, they deactivate. And I'm trying to think what I do here. I think I knock out the guy patrolling, use his body to get past the lasers, and then begin the hack on the computer. And what happens is, when I get the checkpoint, I get discovered, which you'll not see, because it's going to be edited, and his body vanishes, which doesn't make any sense. So we'll just have to see how this plays out. But I have no idea why this room is just got this much security. It's crazy. This is more secure than the final level's bunker, which I assume is used by the president in times of crisis. But he comes around there, he catches me off guard, so I have to shoot him. It's him or me. I win. Now I pick him up, now we deactivate the lasers, now we can get on with it. I want to say as well, folks, anyone who's been kind of hanging on waiting for the guide to come, it would have been up sooner, but life got in the way big style, and it got in the way in the best possible way it could. There was a wedding, my cousin got married, and I managed to go there with my girl and my family and just have a really good time. But it was the day after I recorded the guide, so in my mind, all I was thinking about until I got into the swing of things is this is the time that I need to commentate this guide and get it up. But it's one of those things where it's completely out of my control, and I had a really good time. So as much as it killed me knowing that the sooner I get this up, the better chances it has of doing well, you know, in a choice between making YouTube videos and seeing my cousin get married, there's always going to be one winner in that, and it ain't YouTube, because it's just not worth it. But I'm down here clinging on this pipe because I'm waiting for the timer to go, and you'll notice there's a shit ton of dudes that have been introduced into this area because they're doing a sweep. And this is when the mission really gets interesting, because pretty much every room after this one can be very tricky unless you've got a good way through it, and a few of them I've got a good way through, a couple of them not so good. And this moment here is just a bit of dead air, so I'm going to use it to talk about some of the stuff. Things to expect from this game in the future on my channel. There's a guard stands directly under me and he tempts me to knock him out. I'm going to try and bring some Spies vs Mercs gameplay. Hopefully if it's a fun game type and I can get some people to play with, or you know, even if I can't and I enjoy it, I'll try and get quite a lot of it to add the diversity to the channel. I might be covering the co-op stuff, but no promises, because if I'm honest, I haven't really enjoyed it too much yet. I will be doing score videos if I can get some good scores. I'm definitely going to share them. Maybe some commentated, maybe some not commentated. But there's still a lot of Payday 2 that I want to cover that I haven't covered. I want to do a weapon showcase so people don't end up wasting money on things they don't need. You know, showing people iron sights and how they perform and stuff like that. I also want to do stealth mission heists on every mission of that game if I can do with a team and stuff. Somebody's contacted me saying he wants to play with me, so I should be able to get some guys together now, which will be awesome. It's just wicked busy at this point. The games are starting to come back again. We've had some dead months for the last 2, and now they're turning up again. And there's one, I think, next week, which is The Killer is Dead, and it's a Suda 51 game. And I'm really interested in it because it looks like an action game. It looks like a character-driven action game, and they are one of my favourite, you know, genre of games to play. My only problem is, every Suda game I've played has kind of been shit. It's been good, but it's also been bad. And I don't know how to take that. This checkpoint here, folks, if you rush all the way to this bottom area, you'll have a much better chance of getting through this courtyard. You don't have to be as quick as I was then, and that wasn't my first attempt. I actually got spotted my first attempt, and the checkpoint allowed me to do that run just then. So if you think you can't get there in the same speed, I used a checkpoint to do it, so I recommend doing the same. But what this guy is going to do in front of me is he's going to sweep down here and he's going to come past the right side of the pillar. When he comes past the right side, you go around the left side. This is hide and seek shit from baby school. We all know how to do this. And all we're waiting for now is that dude to turn around. As soon as he turns around, you're going to walk straight through that doorway, and depending on where the guy is in the room will depend on whether or not you have to do what I'm about to do. If he's stood there blocking the door, knock him out, take his body and dump it in the bin. If he's not blocking the door, stealth around him, get a much better bonus on the next area. It's entirely up to you and how the game deals its cards. But yeah, like, I really didn't like Chainsaw Lollipop Girl. I thought that game was shit. It really bugged me in almost every conceivable way. I loved the soundtrack. It was stupid. It was fun. I loved the concept. It just didn't play well and didn't feel good. It really got to me, that game. I played Shadows of the Damned, which was really, really fun, except for a few things, like the boss fights that took weeks to kill, you know, certain mechanics that weren't as good as they could have been, and a feeling like half the game was missing because it ended super short and super abruptly. So my experience with the dev is he makes creative games that no one else could make, but for the most of them, they're fundamentally flawed on the mechanics. I never played No More Heroes, although Aiden speaks really high of it. And this game's got a katana in it, and I'm a fanboy for katanas, so I really think I'm going to cover it. I'm so tempted. And if you're listening to this, and you've been with the channel for a while, or even if you're new and opinionated, please leave a comment thinking, you know, whether or not you think I should cover it, or if you'd be interested in seeing it. This bit right now, by the way, folks, this room is a fucking nightmare. It's an absolute holocaust. I hated it. My first time through this game, I got through this room without being seen with ease, and I could not recreate it for the life of me in this guide. So instead, I had to take down a bunch of people and do what you just saw. And that was not a one-take thing, guys. That took 4, 5, maybe 10 tries to get through that room. And right there, so close to getting spotted. If I'd have been spotted by him, I might have destroyed something in my house. Because it's just... that is so cheeky, just having a dude waiting for you when you've just come out of a room that's so densely filled with idiots. And right now, people are patrolling and they could spot bodies, and if they spot a body, I'm going to lose my ghost bonus. So it's one of those things where everything is against me. Every second I waste is a second that could potentially ruin my score. That didn't help anything either. I think he saw the open door, but I guess we'll never know. So... not too sure why I'm picking... oh, that's why I'm picking that guy up, because the door only opens if you pick him up, or if you use him to get through, so that's cool. What bonus do we get? Oh, wow, we got Hostiles Undisturbed, so that wasn't too bad, it just looked bad. So this is a mandatory encounter here. When you push forward, there's a cutscene, doors come up, shield guy, and I believe 3 random soldiers patrolling. On the surface, it's a very tricky room, but if you use your gadgets well, or if you use the path I'm about to show, hopefully you'll get through it with ease. But yeah, I'm more than curious about The Killer is Dead, because I really want it to be good, and I really want to enjoy it. Because I've missed guides, I've missed, you know, the pressure and the drive to make them quick. Because the guides I'm doing at the moment, I can spread them out over the coming weeks because there's not really much to cover. But this one, you know, I'm going to get it up as fast as I can. And if it had not been for social situations, it'd be up even quicker. And I do enjoy the rush, I really do, of doing things and being on a deadline that I impose on myself. This right now, I'm trying to throw out some shock mines to stun the guys, but I'm about to trip the cutscene. So, one goes left, one goes right, one goes up the middle. I hop over the balcony, go on the right, and as soon as that guy behind me has passed, we know we're kind of safe. I throw the mine out there to catch this dude. I'm not too sure if it catches him. I think I have to throw another one. Yeah. There we go. So now that that's been done, there's just a shield dude. And these shield dudes are like owls. They will see you from a ridiculous range. They've got great hearing. And it's just a pain in the ass. So I think I'm going to throw a sticky noisemaker to his left. Oh no, he moves forward, even better. So he's moved forward. and creep. And I mean creep here, guys. Do not move at full speed or he will hear you. Right there, get behind the door, just in case, just in time. And then I can push forward and get a checkpoint. So that right there was not a ghost bonus, but it was still pretty clean, and I don't mind at all about that one. This next courtyard is another challenging room, because there's two areas. There's this first fountain area, and then there's a bridge area, and there's no checkpoint, so you've got to get past these people every single time you play. So you can either go the way I did there, down the steps and on the left, or you can climb over the like rocky landscaping. What's going to happen here is the dude to my right is going to look off, and then he's going to turn. This is when you move directly for the big pool of shadow, and there's a plant pot there. And then this is where it gets hard, because there's a shield guy, there's a couple of dudes patrolling, and there's a bloody dog. Like, the dog is what makes this bit. Because the guy on the left, I always trank him, because I don't want to mess about with him, because there's a shield guy to my right, and the shield guy is an asshole. So I throw a sticky noisemaker on the tree, shield guy turns, then I walk. And as I get up here, the dog sees me. And what happens is, I'm throwing a noisemaker there to try and distract the dog. Dog doesn't give a single fuck. I think it comes straight for me. Oh no, it started barking. Give me time to knock it out. The guard's looking over there. I could have just gone for the exit here and got an extra bonus, but I was paranoid that he'd see me, and I didn't want to risk it. So instead, tranked him. There's the hostiles and disturbed bonus. And then there's just a little bit of an on-rail shooting section. So I recommend pressing left on the D-pad. It'll give you the rocket over the machine gun. And if you hit these cars correctly, it should only take one rocket to kill them. Every so often, the rockets miss. And it's more a case of the game's error than your own, if you're shooting on target, that is. And I've currently upgraded my internet protection to Norton antivirus, because my dad has a free one, so I thought, why not? Mine's run out, might as well use his. And I'm not the biggest fan of Norton. And I'm being reminded now why I don't like it, because I'm going to have to go into it and turn off some settings, because my commentaries are being interrupted by the fucking pop-ups in the bottom right, telling me that, you know, your computer's doing things. Norton's doing this. Norton's doing that. And I couldn't give a single... I really couldn't. And it's stopping the damn commentary mid-word and screwing up the audio, so that is something that has to go, because that's just not cool, bro. It's not cool, Norton. It's a bad Norton. But that's the end of the mission. That is the ghost bonus. And that's all from me, folks. So thanks for watching, and you take care now.